Why do past memories still control your reactions in the present? Or why do your dreams always seem to live in a future that never arrives? Time, as we were taught, is not just a measurement. It is a collective limitation program. From an early age, we learn that the past shapes the present, and that the future depends on what we do now. That sounds logical, rational, but that's not how energetic reality works. In truth, time is a psychic construction. It exists because we believe in it, and that belief makes it real within the matrix of consciousness. Carl Jung wrote, "The psyche lives outside of time. Time is a relative value for the soul. The linear mind divides. The spirit unifies. But when we identify only with the mind, with its calendars, expectations, regrets, and anxieties, we start living under the control of a cycle that feeds itself, the energetic loop of psychological time. That's why patterns repeat, not because they are real, but because your vibrational frequency still believes in them. The illusion of time traps us by making it feel like something is always missing. Something is yet to come. Something has slipped away. This way, the soul becomes fragmented between what was, what is, and what could have been. But real time, soul time, is not a line. It is a power point, an eternal now where all possibilities coexist, waiting for your vibrational permission to manifest. Can you feel the difference? The present is not just a moment between the past and the future. It is the only place where creation happens. Everything else is made of vibrational shadows held up by the mind. Life doesn't move from yesterday to tomorrow. It unfolds from the quality of your presence. Now, when you are fully present, something interesting happens. Fear disappears. Anxiety loses its grip. The body relaxes, and energy starts flowing again. This happens because, in the now, you are no longer in vibrational resistance. You are in alignment with what is, and what is neutral, silent, and full of power. Imagine a quiet room where all possibilities lie on the ground like seeds. Each of your thoughts is a ray of sunlight warming one of them. It's in the now that you choose which one will grow. But to do that, you have to step out of autopilot. You have to feel. Close your eyes for a moment. Inhale to a count of 4. Hold your breath for 4 counts. Exhale over 4 counts. And stay in the emptiness for 4 more. This is the 0 point, the space between one thought and the next, between an emotion and your reaction, between the old version of you and the next one. Do this for 3 minutes, and watch how the mind tries to escape. Notice how it reaches for what has passed or what hasn't come yet. But here, in this exact moment, there is no pain, no pressure, no time. There is only what is. And what is where God breathes. Neville Goddard taught that external time has no power over internal reality. To him, the true future is born from imagination assumed in the present, not from passive waiting. Consciousness is the only reality, he used to say. According to Neville, everything you experience in the physical world is a direct result of the state of consciousness you live in, not the order of events. The ordinary mind believes, it hasn't happened yet. The awakened mind declares, it already is, because I am. This is the most challenging point for those still stuck in linear time. The belief that a desire needs time to come true. But time, as Goddard taught, creates nothing. What creates is your state of being. You don't manifest what you want. You manifest what you believe you are. And that being can only exist in the now. That's why the key is to assume the feeling of the wish already fulfilled, here and now, even if outer evidence says otherwise. Because, energetically, anything felt with conviction already exists. It just hasn't yet collapsed into your visible timeline. By taking on that inner state with faith, you shift your vibrational field. And with that, reality is forced to respond. It's not time that brings the desire. It's your state that draws in the version of reality where that desire already is. That's the real time travel, not into the future but within. Everything you repeat with emotion, thoughts, images, words moves from the conscious mind to the subconscious. The subconscious is not just a storage of memories. It is a reality-creating mechanism quietly working behind your will. And there it comes to life. The subconscious does not question. It doesn't distinguish between what's real and what's imagined. It simply replicates what you sustain vibrationally. What you program into the subconscious defines the timeline you live in. In other words, it doesn't just shape your behavior. It places you in specific versions of reality. Think of the subconscious as a projector playing the same movie over and over. If you want a new storyline, it's no use changing the screen. You need to change the film reel that's playing inside. But how do you do that? The subconscious is most vulnerable right before sleep. That's when your brainwaves move into the theta state between waking and sleep. In that moment, mentally repeat an image, a scene, or an affirmation that represents your desired reality. Not as a request, but as a gentle confirmation, like someone who already lives it. For example, I live in peace with my purpose. My reality responds with ease to who I am. Or visualize a simple scene, like you smiling as you wake up, already feeling that something has changed. Do this for a few minutes until you fall asleep. Don't force it, just feel. The language of the subconscious is persistent feeling. By repeating this practice over several days, you start to rewrite the pattern. This is how you change the future, not with effort, but with focused emotional presence. Napoleon Hill didn't speak of time as waiting. He spoke of time as a response to internal alignment. In his classic work, Think and Grow Rich, Hill reveals a vibrational key hidden in practical language. Faith is not blind belief. It is emotional certainty sustained with aligned action. Faith at this level is a state of energetic decision. And what does that have to do with time? Everything. Most people delay their leaps in consciousness because of something Hill called vibrational procrastination. I'll do it when I feel ready. I'll act when I get a sign. I'll change when life allows. But this kind of waiting reinforces the timeline where nothing changes. Because time does not respond to doubt. Time bends to a firm decision. When you decide with faith, even without guarantees, the field reorganizes. You activate the vibrational principle of correspondence. As within, so without. As above, so below. The universe reads your vibration as a command, and faith is the loudest tone of that command. This doesn't mean acting in a rush. It means acting with presence. Every vibrational decision born from a higher state reconfigures your timeline. So ask yourself, in what area of your life are you waiting when you could already be choosing? The right decision doesn't come from the right time. It creates the right time. Much is said about the quantum leap, but its essence is often misunderstood. It's not something spectacular or external. It's a sudden shift in vibrational identity. A quantum leap happens when you let go of attachment to your current version, even if it feels comfortable, consistent, or familiar, and you begin to move toward a frequency where your reality is already different. There is no warning, no pause. The change is silent but final. What separates you from the life you want is not time. It's frequency. And frequency is a state of being. When you decide vibrationally, not just mentally, to embody a new inner posture, you are literally crossing the veil that separates one timeline from another. It's like changing the station on a radio. What you heard before fades away, not because the world changed, but because you're no longer there. This leap requires presence, but it also requires detachment. Detachment from the story, the narrative, and the logic that holds your previous version in place. This is where many hesitate. They try to hold on to the new without letting go of the old. It doesn't work. The quantum leap is only complete when the vibration of the new version becomes more real than the memory of the old one. And that doesn't depend on time. It depends on energetic coherence. So if you feel like you're between worlds, between what was and what could be, know that this isn't confusion. It's dimensional transition. and you are not lost. You are crossing. Mastering reality isn't about controlling everything around you. It's about learning to observe and shift the invisible codes that shape your experiences. These codes show up as words, images, emotions, and behaviors. They are small daily commands, almost always unconscious, that create and recreate the same kind of day, the same kind of relationship, the same kind of result. It all begins with language. What you say about yourself becomes the script of your experience. You say, "I'm always late. I can't focus. Nothing ever works out for me." And the universe replies, "So it shall be." But the opposite is also true. When you begin to express yourself from a different state, even without proof, you start to send signals to a new matrix of reality. Mental images strengthen this process. Picture yourself doing what you want, feeling what you want, living how you want, not as a distant dream, but as a memory from the future. This technique, used by Hermetic masters and also by modern students of consciousness physics, isn't fantasy. It's active creation. Finally, align yourself emotionally. It's not enough to say or imagine. You must feel it as if it's already real, even if it hasn't yet appeared. When word, image, and emotion move together, you access vibrational coherence. And with it, time stops being an obstacle. It becomes just the stage for manifestation. You don't need to wait for the future. You need to rewrite the present with intention. Breaking the loop isn't about doing something grand. It's about choosing, in each moment, not to react the same way as before. It's deciding, with presence, who you choose to be in the face of what appears. A higher intention is the first step, but it only becomes real when it's supported by a matching vibration. Daily practice isn't about fighting what keeps repeating. It's about cultivating a vibration where the old simply no longer finds shelter. And little by little, the old characters fade. The stories dissolve. Time loses its hold. Only the now remains. And in it, everything is possible. You are not trapped in time. You are positioned in a frequency. And frequency can change, can be chosen, can be felt. So ask yourself, what reality am I allowing with my state of being? And more importantly, what reality am I ready to sustain without using time as an excuse? If something awakened within you, recognize this. It wasn't this video. It was your soul, remembering the way back to the now. If that memory stirred something inside you, maybe the next video is already waiting for you on another timeline. Follow your intuition, like, comment, and share this frequency with someone who's ready. And subscribe. This space is yours. Can you feel it? That's your energy responding.